Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Danielle. If you're new here, I want to welcome you, and if you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. So we are currently in a 3-part video series that I'm doing to share with you my experience of going through pregnancy. So we're doing each video as one of the trimesters. So the last video I filmed was on the first trimester, just sharing with you the reality of my experience, sharing with you what I ate, what maybe I wish I would have ate instead of what I actually ate. And so we're just sharing those things. So if you missed that first video, I said we're sharing. Well, I hope you're sharing in the comments. I'm sharing those things about my personal experience, but if you missed the first one, I will have that linked so you can go back and catch up. In this video, we are going to talk about the second trimester. One thing, I made myself a little note because I was thinking after I filmed the first trimester video, I had the thought I should really share some tips as well, just things that I would like to suggest or, put out there for you to consider if you are pregnant now or going to be pregnant in the future. But then I thought even further that I don't know if I had too many tips for the first trimester. I think the biggest thing I would say for the first trimester is just take it one day at a time. Enjoy the journey, but the first trimester can be the hardest for most of us, most pregnancies. So just take it one day at a time, sleep as often as you can, and don't stress or worry about, the housework or your typical routines and things. If it's not an emergency, if it's not like your paid job, if it's not something that's so important and urgent, be okay to let it go. It's a short season of life, going through that first trimester. And even if you have trouble in the other trimesters of pregnancy too, in the grand scheme of things, it really is a short amount of time. So just don't stress about things not being maybe exactly like you would like them or like they typically are. Try not to stress and really just enjoy the ride. Even if there are challenges, just enjoy the fact that you have a miracle growing inside of you, a precious gift straight from God. So just enjoy it. Take it one day at a time. Okay, and that's really a tip for all of pregnancy right there. But let's dive into my second trimester. So, and I've heard a lot of people share this too, that the second trimester is really like that, like that honeymoon phase or like that really awesome phase of pregnancy. And that was actually my experience. My second trimester was my absolute favorite. A lot of the fatigue went away. I started to feel like myself again. I was able to function throughout the entire day on a regular basis versus that first trimester where I just slept every moment that I possibly could. So I was able to function, get through my days, and really just felt, I still felt different because I was pregnant and my belly was growing, but I felt more like myself in that trimester than either the first or the third. My nausea went away, hallelujah. And then as far as the food aversions, I was having those strong meat aversions in the first trimester. They started to go away to an extent in the second trimester. I was able to start to incorporate some more meat, which we will get into here as I move into the foods I ate. But the other thing I want to share before I get specifically into the foods is during the second trimester, that is when my husband and I took a vacation. It was all things wrapped in one. It was to celebrate our anniversary. It was kind of like a Babymoon. It was to celebrate him graduating college. It was just a lot of things, but we had planned to go to Florida. So we took an extended weekend, went to a resort in Florida. It was wonderful. if you're going to travel, here's a tip for you. If you're going to travel during pregnancy, if you can really plan it out, most ideally travel in the second trimester, because for most, a lot of the intenseness of the first trimester is gone, but you're not into the third trimester where you're overly big and uncomfortable. I also will say, if you're planning to fly, keep in mind there is a cutoff of, I think there's a cutoff from the airlines where they will not let you fly any longer, but there's also recommendations either that your doctor or your midwife will have for you as well. And there might be some recommendations specific to your pregnancy and your experience during pregnancy. So keep that in mind. If the traveling you want to do requires flying, just keep that in mind. And then also cruising. I didn't take a cruise during this pregnancy, but cruising is something that I'm highly interested in. We have taken one before and I loved it, and we want to go on more. So a cruise vacation while you're pregnant, also keep in mind that there is a cutoff where you can no longer get on the ship. And I think those cutoffs are generally in the third trimester somewhere. So second trimester is, I think, the best time to travel and take a vacation, go visit family, kind of do what you want. But second trimester, from my experience, would be the most ideal time to travel. Another travel tip on second trimester, well, it doesn't have to be second trimester, sorry. Another travel tip while pregnant. If you are flying, get compression socks. I actually didn't have them yet. I got them for later on in the third trimester, but I didn't have compression socks when we flew, and I did experience some swelling in the ankles and my feet and stuff. So just consider that. I'd recommend getting them, at least having them, whether you choose to wear them right away or not. I would have them. Especially on the plane. And then just water. I mean, you should be drinking lots of water anyway, but increase that water intake, especially if you're just traveling around, flying, all that stuff. More water is just going to help you. I know you'll have to go to the bathroom more, but more water is good. Okay, so those are, I think, the main things I wanted to mention on second trimester that aren't specifically related to food. Like I said, I really thrived in the second trimester, and that's when I really fell in love with being pregnant, you could say. Oh, the other thing I did want to mention is that is usually in the first trimester is usually when you, I'm sorry, so much going through my mind. In the second trimester is usually when you start to feel your baby kick and move, and that is so exciting. It starts off slow, or mine did anyway. It starts off kind of slow and subtle, and then it gets more intense. I also felt our sweet girl have hiccups multiple times. That was wild and so cool. So that's an exciting part of the second trimester. You also get to usually find out towards the beginning, I think it was, of the second trimester is usually when you can find out if you're finding out the sex of your baby via an ultrasound. I do believe you could find out sooner with blood tests or certain tests. I didn't go that route. But seeing the ultrasound and having them, you know, show us every part of our little baby girl and letting us know that she was a girl, that was all just super, super exciting.
We're about to figure out if it's a boy or a girl.
3, 2, 1. Uh-oh, can you see that it's pink?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's on my mouth.
Loved the second trimester. Let's dive into the food that I ate during the second trimester. So for the most part, on and off, I did try to eat keto and stay keto. I mentioned the strong food aversions I had to meat. Well, in the second trimester, I was able to start to incorporate other meats. For example, ground beef was the easiest for me to add back in. I still had a lot of trouble cooking the meat, so just from being raw and then kind of the smell of just cooking raw meat and stuff, it was almost like everything was heightened too. I'm sure that's part of the hormonal changes you're going through growing a baby, but it was like the meat smelled so strong when it normally doesn't smell that strong to me, and it just bothered me. So it was still hard for me to cook. Thankfully, we had our son Tommy with us, and so it was a perfect opportunity for me to teach him how to do things too. So it was like a win-win. I had him help me, taught him how to make ground beef, and so that was really fun. So there's a tip for you if you have older children. Take that as a teachable moment. If there's something you're struggling to do in pregnancy, but it's age appropriate, of course, to teach your other children how to do said thing, just take that as an opportunity. So that was win-win. He helped cook some of the different meals that we were having. that was the main thing I added back in, is ground beef. I still continued to eat a lot of the things I did towards the end of the first trimester, like eggs, lots of eggs, sausages. I could still do sausage patties. I think I probably added in some sausage links, and then cheese. I don't recall if we had meat sticks around that time or when I started to add those back in, but I think I was just adding in the ground beef. And then I know I had like a pot roast that one of our family members cooked, and I could actually stomach that. It tasted really good, but as far as cooking, I didn't really try to cook too much still in the second trimester. The part though where I wish I had stayed fully keto, but the second trimester is where my appetite really picked up. So it was kind of opposite of first trimester when I was struggling to even eat. Now I was hungry, and I was hungry more often, and having the aversions to meat just kind of threw me off of what our normal way of eating is. And so I just kind of had a lot of ups and downs, started to eat more junk food than I normally would. There was times that we were getting pizza, or I even think a few times getting fast food, and that was kind of a compilation of a couple things. Like I said, I was having trouble with kind of our main way of eating, how it usually is, but then also just being busy and being pregnant, it's like, what is easier? And so there were some times we fell into some old habits and stuff that I'm not too thrilled that happened, but hopefully I can just learn from it and, I don't know, be better prepared if we get pregnant again, maybe. I would say, now that I have an experience of things to actually, I know each pregnancy is different, but now at least I have an idea of what it's like to be pregnant, so maybe I can do some planning ahead and maybe have a backup plan if I have serious food aversions. I don't know. That's where it's all just a little bit, I could have did things differently, but here we are, I didn't. So that would be a fail of mine, though I did not always stay low carb. I did not always stay keto or carnivore through this pregnancy, and was definitely up and down. But there were some times during the second trimester, especially when I did film some videos even, there were times of really figuring out keto family-friendly meals, because we also had our son with us and we're trying to help him to eat healthier, and how can we, ease into that with our family. We're still on the journey of looking for what is going to be our way of eating, like, how we're going to continue eating. And I know it's going to be within the keto carnivore realm, because that's where we have the most positive results, the best outcomes. So anyway, pregnancy, it was crazy, but I want to share that with you. So I was more up and down, but also trying to stay in that keto range of eating. So let me know if you are pregnant, have been pregnant, and I just kind of want to hear what experiences you had. I think I asked you in the last video to share below, but you can share below in this video too, or if you missed that one, just let me know, what are your experiences? Did you find it harder to eat on track, or was it easier to eat on track during your pregnancy? What did you eat? Let me know. I think a lot of our experiences are very different, or can be very different. Can you hear our sweet baby girl in the background? She woke up from her nap and she's enjoying her swing right now. So yeah, other than kind of wavering in my eating habits, I really enjoyed the second trimester of pregnancy. The one thing I did try to do throughout all trimesters is keep my water intake and electrolyte intake up really high. Yeah, I think that's all that I want to share on the second trimester. We have one more video in the series, so look forward to that one, talking about the third trimester, and then we'll move into some other fun stuff. And just thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for commenting below. I love all you guys, love this community, and I'm super excited to be back. And we will talk to you guys all in the next video. Bye.
Okay, how do y'all want to do it?
Smile.
All right, everyone smile.
Say something smart.
Say, we're about to find out what our baby is.
Except you're not having a baby, so
Say it
don't
loud.
that.
Well, it's a family. Our baby, not my baby, but ours. It's ours.
And cut.
This is the B reel. All right, ready?
Find out if it's a boy or a girl.